to a point where you've also got the flexibility, and then no one knows who they're going to be up against.
At 2 potential winning lanes against Aatrox. Based on name value, you think Jace top lane. But you could go Renekton mid lane and just heavy gank it, because guess what? If you press W on Renekton, you ain't missing your seismic shove.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of burst damage. So they're going to keep swapping. Nuguri is the more famous Jace player. I think it's going to be Nuguri on Jace. They're going to go that way. So they've gone the Renekton here blind. And basically, Score has a job of having to back early and try to help double ward that mid lane, because if the Talia comes from
beautiful skybox here. You have a look at the LCK logo. It is nighttime now as we are in our second series. I love that feature, and I will talk about it as often as I can. And DAMWON, I really like this. I mean, the Kai'Sa pickup was the first pick Papa, and means that you can be flexible in going down the AP route as well to get a little bit more of that shared damage on DAMWON's side, allowing them to play the Jace Renekton a little bit more comfortably.
It is a bit of a different look from previous Kaisas. The discussion of, like, what is the best possible 9-14 comp is something that I'm sure there'd be differing opinions on from region to region. In Korea, the one I've enjoyed the most is a Kai'Sa bot lane, you know, usually going the Manamune build, and then Corki mid lane, which obviously banned this game, just because Kai'Sa can dive bomb, do a big amount of damage, and then i.e. Corki just mops it up, right? Yeah. And you win a team fight from there. With Renekton Jace, it's a bit of a different look. Talia can put out because it's a damage, Jace can too. But I think on the side of DAMWON Gaming, they're very much looking for killer instinct openers, because Renekton and Jace can both invite the Kai'Sa to swoop in. So side lane plays here for DAMWON Gaming, and early game mid lane focus is what we're really thinking here. For a 5v5, it's possible, but not necessarily recommended against KT's Knock-Up Kingdom.
Yes, certainly is a heck of a lot of CC of the knock-up variety. Absolutely. As it's a headbutt just to get a bit of damage there onto Prey, but you can see Snowflower is happy to offer something back. Prey there evens out the trade with the Ren.
Some pretty painful love taps on both the melee supports in this lane, for sure. Snowflower actually waited out the Aftershock before he flipped in to try to make the damage a bit more relevant. Here are the runes on your screen, in case you're wondering. Overgrowth taken by the Alistair. Topside, Pingen is gonna have a bad time.
Yeah, and that was just comedy there is between both of them. Shock Blast going wide, but then also Kingen not finding any of his sweet spots, and Nuguri is going to be in a very comfortable position. This wave now heading towards the Aatrox, but as you can see, he's not going to be able to make up the amount of winning that Nuguri's been doing in this early stage, and that's to be expected in this lane.
He needs a lot of help from Score early, because pretty much Jace has full run of this lane. The way you play the lane in such a winning matchup against Aatrox is that you slow push it and then threaten a turret dive every time the enemy actually gets to CS. Canyon's not going top here, so here is that help from Score. He's gone around the ward.
Yep, Nuguri had a ward down. He feels safe, but he's not. Score's going to be able to come in. He's in body slam range. Doesn't even need to flash as the barrel goes down. BDD gets the shape splitter. And Nuguri's going to make it into the brush. He's going to flash. BDD's still looking for it. Canyon comes down on the Talia. A lot of single target damage. The red buff should be able to do it. A Showmaker had come in, and he's not going to be able to get an assist. So they use a lot to answer that 1-for-1, and it is going to be First Blood going to BDD, who has teleport himself.
A lot of time used. Do note that Nuguri flash, no one else did. So there's definitely a receipt on these plays. Speaking of receipts, a lot of people looking to cash them in.
Yep, Canyon over here going to shove around these Krugs as he gets the smite down. It's going to be a slight win here for DAMWON, but not a massive one, as there's the flip back onto Barrel. Aftershocks are going to be traded here as Snowflower, now with that down, is going to be pretty squishy. But the Pierce coming in here from Prey is going to mean a lot of damage. Not actually able to catch up to the cow, so he's going to be able to get out of there unscathed. Good fighting done by KT's bottom lane, and you can see it's reaping rewards. An 8 CS lead here at 4 minutes.
Brawling required to make that happen. Oh, it's just lane presence pre-level 3 is pretty pitiful. Level 2 all-in aside. Showmaker, because the junglers have been showing everywhere, is actually been able to farm up pretty decently, but will take a health bar hit in order to make that happen. He's down in effective health in the lane. This is the receipt we talked about. We got the scuba.
Adorable.
Yeah, we got some
Ooh, actually, not actually in vision.
Nope, not in vision. You can get around the Scuttle Crab even with a fat model like Gragas.
Oh, he's still chilling there.
He is.
Just go kill him. Score.
Scores don't.
Doesn't want to risk it. As Kingen underneath his turret is still having a pretty horrible time, but it's better than it otherwise could have been. 40 CS to 25 is still pretty good for NGàY.
I mean, it's sliding scales of awful when you're taking Aatrox into Jace. Here's the replay. I want to note something really small towards tail end, because the question is, when do you flash? If you flash now, you're not really getting anything as NGàY. He gets the phase rush up. The cute thing about this is, if you look at this, he jukes upwards, both to potentially get through a E, but also because his teammates are coming from that direction. That little juke there guaranteed the kill. It was probably going to happen anyway, but I understand the effect of what NGàY was trying to do. He goes down, and Kindle Gem in a Dream is all that Kingdom has to show for it.
Yeah, but that might help. At least has a bit of more health bar there, and with the natural healing that you have, probably going to be feeling okay about it. NGàY looks to be headed straight towards the serrated Dirk. Doesn't worry about building for lane because he's already winning the lane. I'm actually surprised NGàY didn't take Kleptomancer. He's just been taking it on everything recently.
If you look at the enemy team, the phase rush is going to be useful because the enemy team really has to chain gank you to make things happen. I understand what you're saying, though. The gold would have been lovely.
A little bit facetious. It's just that NGàY does like to really dominate his lane just on skill alone. Alright, Beryl taking a bit of damage there, but feels to be the tail of this particular tape is who uses Aftershock, and then we just disengage, and then we both get it back up again, and then we do it again.
I think to level 6 on Callista, that's true. And top side.
It's actually a cute little trade coming down here as Kingen pops the World Ender. Score is lying in wait. He's going to move on over, and they're not going to go too far forward for this gank contender.
If KT are looking to be aggressive, what you do is you look for the Aftershock for Aftershock trade, and then you Fates call in during the cooldown window, post 6. There's going to be that play there. Remember the Volibear support, which is pretty non-standard. We're seeing it creep around to other regions, but not with the regularity of having the LCK. The big thing is, if your flash is up, your flash flip has basically no frames of animation, so you can do a lot on an all-in. And that's what Snowfire wants to do. Threaten the all-in, change the lane state, and then, especially after level 6, you can do quite a lot of relevant damage with those Thunder Hands.
Damn right you can. Snowflower able to run away, but isn't able to take down the control ward that DAMWON will retain on the bottom side.
Now, let's do a bit of inside talk here. Do you know the name of Volibear's ult? I definitely don't.
Thunderclaws.
Oh, Thunder Hands is pretty close then.
I actually don't know, but Thunderclaws makes
sense. It could be.
It's either Thunderclaws or Lightning Claws or something like that. I mean, it's not exactly a hyper-interactive name.
No. It's also not like the most impactful ultimate because it's an AoE.
There's one ability name that you need to know from Volibear, and is Majestic Roar.
I disagree. Wait, that's not. It's Rolling Thunder.
Rolling Thunder is the Q. Majestic Roar is the E, and it's awesomely named.
I was confused because it used to be Triumphant Roar for Alistar.
Ah, yeah, that's true. Ooh, revealing your age a little bit there, Papa Smithy.
Is it better to be Triumphant or Majestic? I'd probably go with Triumphant.
Majestic.
Oh, but Triumphant wins.
No, but like,
you could have Majesty and lose.
You could, but you could be Triumphant but never Majestic.
Style and substance. Huh?
Yeah, see, you can be Majestic but Triumphant as well, and often a lot of Majestic people are.
Spam it in the chat. Triumphant or Majestic? You guys get to choose.
All right, Score is going to sneak his way in here. The most covert fat gentleman that I have seen in a while. Should be able to get in there unseen. This guy has been pretty good at steering clear of vision this game, this Beryl. He's thinking about trying to check for vision, but the Unbreakable Will is going to mean that Nuclear is going to be the target. They're playing super respectfully here. Look at Snowflower baiting, clearing out this control ward, and BDD making his way down as well. It's a 4-man dive attempt.
Yeah, and these guys don't have a lot of escape tools. Beryl and Nuclear.
And remember, Score hasn't given himself away.
Nope.
So but this Gragas that's going to be walking in that's shape-splitted still could certainly be confusing, as both Gragases are going to leave. Neither of them want to be here.
It was all pretty straightforward that a bot dive was happening, and I think DAMWON Gaming, with their conditional information, played it well.
Yep.
They showed respect where they needed to. They didn't lose a lot for the play, and obviously with there being kind of 99% a million people bot lane, Jace just says thank you very much and continues his harassing ways. Here we go.
Yep, there's the headbutt. No pulverize required as Snowflower with the flash is going to be able to get away, but that Majestic Roar certainly looked cool.
It did. Shake, rattle, and roll from the Volibear. Had to use his Summoner to make it happen. Hex Flash available, so can go for some creative plays. And I must admit, I've become a fan of all the Hex Flash.
Yeah, me too.
In the meta recently, and there's a champion here that makes it very relevant, because if you flash and don't have Hex Flash against a Talia, you can lose objectives really easily.
So we'll see what Canyon's going to be able to get done here. He's been relatively quiet, apart from helping grab that kill, but in fact getting it himself towards the top side. Mistakenly thought Showmaker was able to get that one done as he, did he just faceplant the body slam?
He did, in fact.
That part of the wall you could never body slam. Why was he even trying to?
I don't have answers for you. I have observations.
That's my job. You're the one with the answer.
Hey.
Alright, well, Canyon's going to try and redeem himself here as, there's the Weaver's Wall. World Ender comes down, unable to catch him there as it's a decent flash, but not decent enough. As the body slam comes in, even is able to catch Canyon there as a seismic shove. Not going to work out. Pop Blossom comes in. Showmaker unable to jump onto score. Now we're going to trade some damage back onto BDD, but once again, it's a 1-for-1. These two teams trading blows, but the plates are going to go over to Noguri.
And Kingdom doesn't have teleports, so this could be a lot of plates unless Jace needs back timing right now. Play will pay off on the top side. Canyon's flash. It's kind of going to be damned if he does, damned if he doesn't, but ends up condemning himself to death.
Did guarantee the kill as Score was able to get in there. There's the flash from Beryl. Trying to lock down the trample stun. Prey's going to have to flash here as the Fate Skull's going to be available. The heal is utilized now as the ward eventually goes down. But Prey's going to have to use that martial poise really well. He's not going to be able to make that one happen. Majestic Roar just not majestic enough, and a kill comes in for Noguri. DAMWON Gaming looking like their old selves.
KT trying to use those bare necessities to get somebody out, but both go down. All teleports required to make it happen, so it's a significant investment, but they're paying off with a Mountain Drake. And who's to say this isn't a payment plan towards a strong mid-game Baron for the side of DAMWON Game?
Not to mention the fact that they've got 5 turret plates sitting in that bottom outer turret, and no teleport available from Prey, of course, because he does have that heal for lane. Kingan's going to make his way towards this turret and Score's lying in wait. So Noguri might have to be a little bit careful if he's going to try and defend. But otherwise, it's all in favor of DAMWON.
The lane ward is set up, but we're getting the ultra zoom because it could be plans upon plans for both sides. Gromp is down, so Canyon should know that Score's top side. Here we go.
Yep, doesn't find it. Does still have the flash. There's a seismic shove and a very dead Gragas.
And there's a DAMWON Gaming summer versus spring play. They read the map really well. They knew that the chance of Gragas being there was basically 100%. They played around it. The burst combo comes from out of vision. So nothing's but Score to juke and into the death chamber. Good map read, DAMWON Gaming.
Yep, really nicely done. Score a bit of a whoopsie there as far as positioning of the body slam and not actually opting into the flash or anything like that. It was a little bit of a worry, but otherwise it was just better play from DAMWON. As better play in the early game, plus Beryl being on the Alistar, just feels like bad news for any opposition of DAMWON Gaming. Because we just know that this guy's able to make plays out of nowhere, especially if they're coming from ahead. Noguri's on a ward. Canyon's here, though. Yep, decent knock up there as the Infernal Chains are broken. The Weaver's Wall looking to try and stick him in between the wall and the other wall as the Umbral Dash is going to be utilized, but Score comes in to get some revenge. Barrel is avoided by Canyon, though, and I don't think he knows that there's a ward in there. He will be going down, and KT, they one-up DAMWON Gaming and get their revenge.
Have a drink, says Score, just throws it on the ground. The beer is wasted, but the kills are picked up. This is getting to be a bloody early game, and not much to pick between DAMWON Gaming and KT Rolster.
Yep, you can see it's represented in the gold. Only 100 is the lead here for DAMWON. Might be able to create a little bit more distance there by taking a plate bot side, but Prey's going to come back and Snowflower too, as we're going to check out the replay.
Oh, the Triumph, so the E is used to interrupt the headbutt, but Pulverize is annoyingly from the side of KT still available, and that's why the moment the double Pulv comes in, it's every man and bear, and woman I guess, for themselves, but extra teleports, extra chance, and Snowflower goes down.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he's going to leave Prey to die and then died also himself, which is a little bit of a shame, as we're going to check out the top replay as well. Very close to getting trapped in between the wall, but thankfully Kingan has that extra world into movement.
So the World Ender, sorry, not the World Ender, the ultimate there from Taliyah is mostly used for gap close, but it does mean there's more narrow space for the Aatrox to do. But Aatrox opens up space, Gragas celebrates by breaking his cask on the floor, and we return to action. No gold to speak of between DAMWON Gaming and KT.
It's actually a little bit more impactful than we otherwise would have thought, because the Taliyah had the Rift Herald buff as well, and that would have meant turret plates if that gank against Kingen had have worked. Because it got answered so easily, it meant that no turret plates were actually available, and as you can see, that Eye of the Herald is still in the hands of Canyon.
And it's going to start flickering soon. He's had it for a little while. I believe it's below 50%.
Yeah, about 45 odd, something like that on that cooldown.
The only person who has successfully avoided any action so far is Showmaker, who hasn't been able to get back up in the mid lane. No one's been... Canyon's been playing everywhere but mid, so hasn't actually got any kill involvement. The happy news is usually you just say, okay, you're going to get outscaled and then you're Renekton, is that they've got 2 solo laners that can beat Aatrox in the 1v1 as the game goes on. So there's still some options here, and he will be going for the solo lane focus build of the Spirit Shoujin.
Yeah, Spirit Shoujin Rush is going to come out. Often you see this item come in second after the Black Cleaver, but this time it's going to be coming in first, just to make sure that those team fights, when the ultimate is popped, are going to mean a lot of crocodiles doing a whole lot of buttons, basically. Coming in here, it's going to be able to land those Infernal Chains. It protects his turret majoritively, but already a few of those plates had gone down, and damn, this game is incredibly close. 16 minutes in, and there's about nothing between these two squads.
Nuclear has gone mana immune, pickaxe, he's got 100 AD. This means his attack speed evolve will be delayed, but he's definitely online for potentially swooping in for a kill. A lot of crowd control for him to do that with. We'll see how these team fights play out and whether they use him as the dive bomber we've seen in Corki Comp, so whether they try something different here. The Renekton's the other one to watch. Spirit Shoujin finally done. But so far, the only farming Shoujin.
And now, I guess, because this game is so incredibly close, we have to talk about which one of these compositions is happy to play the long game and who's trying to win this one earlier. Because I'm looking at these comps and it's not exactly clear-cut.
I'd probably take KT in most teamfight scenarios. His score comes to roll in and guarantee a turret to answer the Rift Herald. DAMWON have potential, but it seems more difficult to execute on their side. Meanwhile, enough knockups, things will work out.
Yeah, okay. Shelly was body blocked.
Sad Shelly. Does the Volibear E interrupt Shelly charge?
Ooh, probably not. I don't think so. I don't think it's that majestic. It's pretty majestic, but not quite that majestic.
Still, no charge means that's a huge tempo win for KT because they got the top lane turret.
Yep.
DAMWON Gaming need to waste the time of Canyon in order to even start the damage on bot.
Got the ward cleared out here from KT. There's multiple Grag-Eye heading down towards the bottom side as the cow is hit with the Super Soaker, and Beryl not going to be able to blast, going to get himself out of here. Does have flash available as the Fate's Call is utilized pretty quickly here. Prey now out of position, the flash forward, but that is a great knock-up as the Pop Blossom comes in. Nuclear is able to grab one of the kills, and Nogger is able to follow up. Nico gets a Pop Blossom kill, but this is all DAMWON all day. Double kill for Canyon also, and it's only Kingen that's able to limp away from the fight.
Sometimes it all lines up. Canyon was able to put up so much damage to open, and Prey was stuck between a rock and a hard place, couldn't open up any space, couldn't get hopping mad, and KT go down. DAMWON needed a moment like this.
Oh,
zoom out the
majestic
replay.
Oh, okay, no.
There's the initial terrifying, the flip, baby, onto it, and Shelly got super duper confused.
She was so confused, poor thing. Oh, we didn't have to zoom in on the death animation.
I'd shout out Jonah Strong, but I'm kind of sad. Like, I feel like Shelly's life was unfairly interrupted. To get the replay of what happened here, notice that Aatrox would come in a little bit late. KT had a lot of tools that could, if they could be used on their terms, would have been strong, but almost everything was reactionary or defensive. And then Canyon just free hitting on the top side after swooping in.
Yeah, Canyon able to get a whole lot of work done. As at least the Pop Blossom was able to get one.
멋있다.
And make a way out of my... I'll give you the translation.
Really mixed signals on this one.
Yeah.
We'll get there after all. As KT say, we're taking the bot lane turret. All things even, 2 turrets 2. A lot of backup being shown by KT on this bot lane. Extended push.
Yep, we've got a blue trinket as well, utilized just to find out exactly where Showmaker is.
In case what you're wondering, KT have a grouping comp. Meanwhile, DAMWON have a side lane comp. So because of that, KT trying to force more objectives around their grouping. DAMWON trying to take more objectives in mid and top, as this could be a catch.
Yeah, Void Seeker. Not going to be followed up on there, as NGàY is taking the top inner turret by himself. And, okay. See you later, Snowflower. You're going to take about a bajillion damage, and the flash is now on cooldown. But
they're wasting time here as well, Atlas.
Yeah, NGàY is going to be pushing, but he's going to move towards the inner turret in the mid lane now. And oh, Majestic Roar was fantastic this time. Now a Pop Blossom to come forward. Does get one stun onto Beryl, but he immediately ults. Canyon goes golden to avoid it. The barrel comes down and lands onto a couple as BDD swoops into the backline and just gets eliminated. NGàY's going to be the answer here, as KT still have a few members alive. Prey at full health is a huge deal, as Showmaker's going to go down. A double kill for Kingen, and now KT have their turn at trying to lock down some more of this map. Do have the Rift Scuttler falling, so some vision there that can't be removed from KT, but they might still just go straight to the Baron.
They should, Atlas. They actually made something of a terrible scenario. DAMWON Gaming overstaying. Canyon's around, level 11 to level 11. They can't spot the Baron, but it's very healthy. They have to back away.
Yeah, Prey was actually inside the wall just there. Thankfully, he's not going to get punished for it too much, as does have 300 health now to play with, and KT do have the Baron stopped.
KT lost so much here because Beryl and Canyon were able to gatekeep them away from turrets. They tried to make it all about their bot lane push, but DAMWON Gaming didn't take the bait. But they did take the bait afterwards to keep fighting. They could have disengaged, taken maybe a loss on their Alistair and gotten away. But it's DAMWON Gaming. They get bloodthirsty, and KT are the ones that invite the grouping. Grouping finally gets them a lead, but doesn't get them the Baron, as Canyon pokes KT away.
Yep. BDD pretty strong. 3-3-1 now on the Nico with a couple of items completed. Having a look down the line, as far as that scaling you were talking about, I think KT will be probably feeling okay as this game extends. It is going to be a very big NGàY. I mean, look at this guy. He's got 2 full lethality items completed and an extra serrated Dirk. He's got the Executioner's Calling built for lane. This is a very scary Jace.
And no one's building armor till later, really. You know, Zonius is there for the Gragas, but he isn't a tank. Don't try and convince me of that. The Volibear.
You saw that shock blast. He took considerable damage from that one.
Volibear and Alistair are both very much going to be squishy, despite being supports. Alistair ult, the only thing to speak of between the two. So there's so much damage in this game that whatever we want to theorize about comps, it does feel like KT Rolster have easier team fights, but DAMWON Gaming can also outplay them. So right now, the 2,000 gold lead, it's not game ending, but throwing an Infernal, some mountains. DAMWON Gaming want to start a Baron and look for a turn, that is for sure.
Yeah. DDD towards the top side of the map, he can rotate down to said Baron, but Kingen's bottom lane without teleport. NGàY is going to answer him. Their teleports at very similar cooldowns. So neither team too pressured, as the second Infernal Drake has joined us here, 4.5 minutes until he's going to be available. DAMWON have had a monopoly on the Drakes this time, so KT starting off a Baron is going to be a very different story to DAMWON starting it off, because they've got so much damage just in general, plus it's augmented by 2 Mountain Drakes.
And the kind of thing that gets you really concerned if you're KT is, with double Infernal, double Mountain, your time to play Baron Chicken is so short. You give them too long a leash, you hang yourself, and the Baron dies. As an afterthought, the Talia wall goes down, and you're done. So because of that, KT have very fine margins to play around the Baron. Right now, they're actually looking for a catch. Here we go.
Yep, Fatespell going to come in, no knock-up, but he does get the flip back as Beryl decides that this is an initiation option. Snowcloud's going to get booped back. The Unbreakable Will has been popped, but it's not going to be enough. Prey locks down that kill, and it looked like Beryl was going for something, but the rest of his team just didn't agree that it was worth the try.
Yeah, he tried to make a Rift Rivals-esque play, but it wasn't the time for it, and he just gives up his life, separating himself from all the damage on his team. And what is a Renekton to do? Close the gap there. It's not going to give over a Baron. It's too much damage on the side of DAMWON Gaming to do that. 3 minutes till the Infernal, so KT get to extend the game and keep it competitive.
Yep, this is exactly what KT wants to do. Kingen towards the bottom side, still free to push. Does have the teleport back available again. And as this game goes on, you could imagine that the Aatrox is going to be feeling better and better. Of course, does have a lot of explosive power in a team fight if he can actually mess around there, and with a lot of low range champions, he should be able to get some work done on this Aatrox as time goes on. And somehow being able to sneak up to a 3-1-3 scoreline from this Aatrox pick as well, with all the attention that was given towards Nobu topside.
Feels like BDD will be doing the majority of his work before a fight starts. Very medium to short range champions, so the Glacial Augment will get a lot of value, the Poke should get a lot of value.
Also, super high value Spooky Ghost this game as well, because all of this focus is going to be on the Baron, having that free ability to check it and to heat seek towards these champions. It's going to be very effective. Showmaker clearing out vision. That's a whole bunch of walls that NGàY could be taking here.
Prey needs to hit level 13 to get even a single point in his Sentinels. This is the meta build with Q max, Q and E alternating points. See this exclusively when it comes to the Kalista players still playing the champion, but does mean you have one less check ability.
Reminds me of old Jace when you only leveled E and Q.
Had to buff W a couple of times before that changed. BDD being creative here. I haven't seen the Volibear for a while.
Yeah, Beryl as well here in this mid lane. Is lying in wait behind the wall, but didn't find any opportunities to get too much done, as finally that level 13 has been gained like you were talking about, and the first Blood Moon Sentinel comes out from Prey.
First Sentinel at 25 minutes. That's what we think for the game. It's only getting later. I wonder if there's been a game where it ended before you could even skill your W.
I assume it would have.
It's not really played in Europe, so because it's only played in Korea, maybe the answer is no. We got long games over here. They popped the ultimate, and we talked about that Baron timing.
Yeah, also, there's no Brawl. That Weaver's Wall's getting through. That's going to be blocking people off as the Baron has gone down. Canyon locks it up as Beryl just gatekeeping. Even if he dies here, it's not a problem, but he decides to turn it into an initiation, and immediately the Aatrox falls. BDD finds a bit of value with the Pop Blossom, but they're so squishy. You mentioned explosive damage. It is right there. It's mopped up by Showmaker, but the Kai'Sa doing a whole bunch of work on the back line. Score can't get anything done, and now Prey running for the hills. And with Baron and the majority of KT dead, DAMWON may not have to do too much more to win this game.
Well, KT need to investigate their comm situation. Didn't seem to be working in that case. They gave just too much time. Not even that second Infernal end, but 2 Mountains Infernal. With a comp like this, Kai'Sa may be the highest Baron damage champion in the game. Over Cassiopeia in some calculations. It was just too easy, and DAMWON Gaming in a great base, and maybe break Prey's hard.
Yep, Nuclear just flashes forward and murders the Kalista. Nothing that Prey could do, had no summoner spells, and had no right to be that far up. Surprising that they're not just going for the end, but you can see the death timers just really aren't that long, as it's only 27 minutes in, so the rest of KT were respawning, and DAMWON do back away.
When we get the replay here, it will definitely be a symptom of how this game has played out. When KT got them to group on their terms, good things happen, but we're starting a little bit later as the fight starts, and it's against Baron. Yes, KT had the easy to execute team fight comp, but they were out-rotated in the early play, then fought their way out of it and didn't give up Baron in the end. This time they already lost the Baron, and that explosive damage was enough when Aatrox died first.
Yep. Really beautiful to see this from DAMWON though. Decisive Baron call and then fantastic Baron turn, largely off the back of Beryl, but you know that the communication was there for that particular play. We're going to see Kingen falling on the bottom side here as Nuclear gets that Killer Instinct in. Kingen taking a hell of a lot of the burn damage. As you can see, not enough to take him down. And that is the Death's Dance, of course, staggering the amount of work that Nuclear would have done anyway.
And it's the AP Kai'Sa that gets to dive in and naturally itemize the Zonias in order to reset aggro. So it may not be the Corki and Kai'Sa, but it's the same flavor of try and do max damage, stasis, and hope your teammates do the rest. And these teammates are pretty damn strong.
Yep, wall is set up here. Snowplow caught on the wrong side of it. Seismic Shove not going to work, but Fate's Call has to be picked up defensively. That is one of KT's only tools as far as starting off a fight or continuing one. As Barrel's going to come in for wave clear, and BDD has to go back home. Double Infernal. The Baron buff still for another 50 seconds. Base broken in the mid lane. It is going from bad to worse for KT, and Snowflower once again has to get out. This poke damage from this composition on DAMWON's side is just too difficult to deal with, be it Void Seekers or Shock Blasts. It's really scary stuff, not to mention the fact that pebbles being thrown forward from Canyon are no joke.
How do you itemize against AP Kai'Sa W's and EQ from Jay's stacking lethality? Turns out you don't, Atlas.
Yep.
You build a bit of health and hope for the best. It's a different type of Siege comp, but it's one that's working. Not often Renekton's in a Siege comp, but honestly, Renekton hasn't really done anything this game.
Hell? Prey just took his whole health bar from one ability, and that will mean that KT have to leave. I think the only safe place is at the very back of their fountain, and even then, I don't know whether I necessarily want to be there. As the entire base has been eradicated, the Baron has ended. DAMWON Gaming will go back and unpack their very packed wallets before they come back to the enemy base and smack their enemy around with said wallets.
I'm just in a bit of awe that DAMWON Gaming have turned Talia, Renekton, Alistar into Siege champions.
Yeah.
Because turning the Kai'Sa into AP, and Jace obviously fitting Siege normally, does make it these huge long-range skill shots that do a bajillion damage, as you so eloquently put. And right now, KT can't even walk up to start those team fights when they're using things like Fate's Call defensively, when their tools aren't being done on their terms. Credit to DAMWON for putting this draft together and making it work. And now, with everything gone except for those Nexus turrets, will DAMWON wait for the next Baron? The answer is probably yes.
Well, if they do, they've got a minute and a half, approximately, on the next Drake. Volcano Drakes is what I'm going to dub this one, as we've only had Mountains and Infernals.
And Nagari's only got Dirks, 4 of them, in fact.
Good God, Edge of Night completed.
He'd buy more if he could.
He's penetrating some armor.
He is.
That's what he's doing. He's got a lot of those availabilities here in multiple different forms. The Mortal Reminder had been completed as well. That Dirk doesn't actually turn into anything.
No, it turns into Dirk.
He can sell it. Oh, God, jeez.
That was one EQ.
Stop it.
Well, Prey's going to try and hop himself mad to lifesteal.
Yep, does do that. As Score is waiting in the fountain, wanting to get that home guard buff to try and, I guess, start something that might lead to a victory. But there's a very large amount of super creeps heading forward here as the Fate's Call once again going to be utilized. This time, it's unanswerable as Beryl is going to get thrown back. But has he found it? There's the boot back. He's still alive, guys. Pop Blossom comes in, 0 value as Prey is burning down, but he's not going to die just yet. The Gragas is going to be taken. King now looking for more nuclear. Had the killer instinct though, and it's exactly that this time as the Aatrox is going to fall. BDD and Prey, it all rests on them now as KT's base is being obliterated. The inhibitor respawns in the mid lane, but they don't even need to worry about killing that to DAMWON Gaming. They take down the Kalista as an afterthought, and now BDD running back to his fountain to watch as his Nexus is taken. DAMWON don't even want to do so. They're so happy to finally find a kill. The Nuclear's going to suicide onto the base. 32 minutes in, and DAMWON finally win after their 0-4.